All right, John, let's jump into this. Northwest Boy, a guy that you and I are both really familiar with. A guy named Tucker Wetmore is a CMA nominated New Artist of the Year. What's your immediate first reaction to hearing that news this morning?
I think it's awesome that, there's a lot of great country music coming out of Washington State. Tucker's leading the way. Zach Top is on fire as well. It's big. I mean, it's a big thing to have somebody right in our own backyard be nominated for a CMA award and all the hits that he has had just so fast in the last couple of years. I mean, he's gone from playing football in Kalama to now being a CMA nominated artists. We do an athlete of the week program here where we nominate and we highlight different local high school athletes. And Tucker was our athlete of the week just not that long ago when he was playing football. And now look at him.
That's pretty awesome. Obviously, he really kind of jumped to a national scene. He had a song end up on the Twisters album soundtrack, and of course, that was kind of a who's who in country music, right? You got Miranda on there. You got so many great artists. Talk about the impact that that had on his career.
Oh, I think it got him in the forefront really fast. I mean, he was in the right place at the right time. He was meeting the right people. He got to Nashville and just dove headfirst in. It happened so fast for him. So to get, a cut on that soundtrack and then get on the Thomas Rhett tour, um, and just his songwriting. I mean, his songwriting got him noticed. I mean, he's an absolute star. The entire part he plays, it's great. He looks like it. He writes like it. He sings like it.
A number one, a number two hit overall with Wind Up Missing You really kind of springboard him into the forefront of country music, especially the stuff that you guys are playing on radio day to day. What are fans' reactions to him? Obviously being a Northwest boy, it obviously has to make people proud, but how do people in Southwest Washington feel about having one of their own really represent them in Nashville?
I think it's funny because here is different because everybody knows him. Every day somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I played football with him. I played baseball with him. I know his mom." I mean, so it's different here. Everybody's got a Tucker Wetmore personal story, but it's still, it's just it's a big deal to have that happen right in our own backyard. I can't name any other, well, not in Southwest Washington at least, a CMA nominated artist that has come out of here. I think, Washington's had a few. James Otto had some big hits back in the day. Michael Peterson back in the 90s were some big ones. Colin Ray's got some roots here in the Northwest as well. But yeah, recently, I mean, Tucker is the man.
Where does his career go from here? Obviously, I know it's his first CMA nomination and it's for New Artist of the Year. But if you look at the people that have won that award, they have some longevity in the format, don't they?
Yeah, you're going to see him play bigger arenas. He'll be a headlining act someday. You'll see him write, obviously more songs. Maybe some of his stuff gets covered by other people. I think you'll see his stature in the industry go up. You'll see him on more TV shows. He'll probably be, you could see him as a part of Saturday Night Live, that kind of stuff. More the mainstream um, the mainstream exposure that comes when you get nominated for an award like that just isn't in the country music genre.
When you have an artist like him come up from a town like Kalama, and obviously I know that you know him really well and you've played his music, talk to me about that whole process. You're trying to build a fan base, you're trying to build a reputation. How does local radio play into that for him?
No, we've been really supportive of Tucker. We've done some small shows with him. Obviously, we play a ton of Tucker music. We just did a promotion about a month ago where we sent some listeners to go meet Tucker when he played the Wild Horse Saloon. And it was funny because it's friends that know him that are winning this stuff because he grew up here. He knew everybody. He was a part of the community. But yeah, I mean, local rate, we've been really supportive of Tucker. And honestly, even if he didn't live here, we would be supportive of him because he is that talented of an artist that warrants the airplay. I think social media has helped out a ton with him as well. Obviously, the streaming numbers are there. He just, he clicked with a lot of people with the way he sings and his writing. So both online, on the radio, on tour, it's all just come together for him really fast too. I mean, this has been skyrocketing fast for this to happen to somebody like that. This takes decades for a lot of big artists.
Obviously, you've been in country radio for a long time. You're part of the programming wave with Bro Country. Now that's making that, kind of that turn again back to more traditional sound. Is that one of the reasons why Tucker's taken off so fast? Because he fits that mold of what people want to hear right now?
Oh yeah, I think so. We went through that phase in country music where it was the bro country and it was more the rap country. And a lot of people said, well, that's not country. It's gone the other way. The pendulum has swung where it's more about what the roots of country music's about, the lyrics, the relatability, the storytelling. And that's, he fits that to a T. And a lot of the artists that are doing that, you've got the Hardys and the Morgan Wallens and all these guys. They've struck a chord with people, and country music's all about being real and relatable, and that's what he's doing.
If people want to find out about who Tucker really is, where do they have to look around Southwest Washington to find that?
I think probably talking to anybody in Kalama, whether it's football coaches. I mean, he was a big athlete. Talking to his coaches, Kalama's a great small town. Everybody knows everybody. I think you start there. You'll probably hear some stories from back in the day. I mean, yeah, I think that's. I mean, he's one of ours, and we get to share him with the world now, which is cool.
How difficult is it for an artist from the West Coast to make it in Nashville?
I don't think it's any harder than anywhere else in the country. I think you have to be in Nashville if you want to do it. You got to move to Nashville. I think, you can make a pretty good living being a Northwest regional act and playing shows and fairs and festivals. But I think you've got to be in Nashville. You got to get with writers. I mean, that's what Tucker did. He moved. He just went, and you've got to get in there and be a part of the community and see how the business works and play and hone your craft and meet people and Nashville is just a small town at the end of the day. Everybody knows, that they're all connected by the industry of country music. And you got to be a part of it. It's tough to do it, whether you live in East Coast, West Coast. I think maybe the only state where you don't need to is maybe Texas. They got that red dirt sound down there. They've kind of got their own thing going on in Texas. And you could probably, make it still being in Texas. But anywhere else, I think you got to be where you got to fish where the fish are.
One question not related to Tucker, but in the last 5 years, Oregon has lost two major country music festivals. Obviously, there's really one now in the Pacific Northwest. How important is it to have that scene, and do you need a festival to have fans and to help kind of drive engagement with country music and country radio?
I don't know if you need a festival per se. You definitely got to be out on the road. You got to meet fans. You got to play live. You got to touch people and just, let them build a fan base that way. I don't know. I mean, I think you can still make a career not having being on a big festival like that. They get expensive. The acts are not cheap anymore. You've got to have a lot of money to put on these festivals. And that means you got to charge more for tickets. And as people only have so much money to spend on their entertainment dollar, it gets tougher to go buy those tickets and fill those venues up, especially if there's more than one big country music festival. I mean, they're important to build a fan base. They're great to hone your craft and your skill and get on stage and see people. But, Tucker got lucky because he's also, he's on the Thomas Rhett tour. They're going to be playing Ridgefield here at the end of the month. He's honing his skills in front of, 15, 20,000 people a night right now.